It's time to take what you've learned so far in code.org about sprites, shapes, and text to make a full-featured scene. Once you start making a real game, you're going to need to do exactly this. There are scenes, images with sprites and text in every game. So, step 1, sketch it out. Don't skip this step, right? Grab a pen, grab some paper, make a mock-up on paper of what you want to make, okay? It's getting close to Halloween, so I've decided I'm going to do a Halloween scene with 2 skeletons sitting on a couch, and I want them to tell some stupid skeleton joke that I found on the internet, and that's going to be my image. Then, when you're done sketching it out, you pop to bubble 3, and we start with the background. Quick tip here, right? You can use the background command, and you can put in some color, and it'll give you a colored background. But there are also full-featured backgrounds in the animation tab of GameLab. You can see there's a whole backgrounds category where these backgrounds are actually sprites. So there's my couch that I wanted. So I have one sprite already. So then I can go into here, and when you create a background from a sprite, it's just like any other sprite. You got to create a variable for that, and you probably want to center it in the middle of the page and then specify a width and a height of 400 so that it covers the whole thing. Set your animation and draw sprites. And there's my couch. Got my background done. If there are any other shapes that you need, now would be the time to do that as well. Since I've drawn that background sprite, if I wanted to put any shapes on top of it, I don't know what I would need here. Like if I wanted to build a lamp or something by the couch, I could do that with lines and shapes in here. I'm not going to bother. Let's just keep moving. Next step, add your sprites. Well, if you used a background sprite, then you need to be careful about this, just so you know. So for example, I went to the internet and I found this skeleton sitting image. I'm going to use this as one of my sprites. So save image as, I'll throw that in my downloads. Now I don't know if this is going to work because it's a WebP file, but we can find out. New animation, upload. Downloads. Where did it go? I don't think it's going to list it. It's only looking for PNGs and JPEGs. So that tells me that I can't use that WebP file. I got to go find another one. You will also find out that you need your images to be less than 100 kilobytes. And that can be problematic. This one looks okay. That's a JPEG. Make sure this works. There we go, it's in there. Now once you're in here, you should rename it. And you can edit this. You can, for example, erase things. Like I don't want all of that in there. And now it looks like I'm painting over with dark gray, but this is actually transparency. So depending on how fancy you want to get, you can use certain tools like the select tool, and you can pick regions of the image and hit delete, and it'll fill it with transparency so that when you add the sprite to your image, all this white background doesn't show up at all. So that's up to you how crazy you want to get about that. You can zoom in and do stuff like this to get nice regions made. Up to you. I just wanted to show you that you can download your own sprites. And here I'm going to create that sprite. I have no idea where to put it, so I'm just going to put it in the middle right now. And if I run it, you'll notice the skeleton is not on the screen. And this is the main thing I wanted to show you, is that my background is a sprite as well. So I need to make sure that my new sprites go after the background sprite. And I have to make sure that they go before the draw sprites command, or it won't draw my sprite. So there it is. Obviously he's too big. Oh, getting better. Can move him a little further to the right. You get the idea here. You're going to play with these parameters. Given the time that you have, I would have made this sprite look a lot better. And if I would have worked out the background better, you can see now that you could get a skeleton sitting beautifully on that couch. I'm going to need a second skeleton as well, because it's going to be two skeletons talking to each other. And finally, when you're done with that, you get to add your text. Text should go after draw sprites, because I want the text to go on top of everything. Okay, so whatever that skeleton joke ends up being, where am I going to put that here? 70 and 50. And then you're going to have to play with the properties, of course, because it's not going to be big enough. Let's try 40. You get the idea. Pretty quickly, if you know what you're doing, you can make a nice scene. And this is your project for lesson 10. Have fun. I'm curious to see what you make.